it will be lighty. Yes, there's complications. This is the first time we're using it. Bear with us.
Hello. And welcome to Familiar on Valentine's Day 2018. We're all here. That's Azra, Eric, my girl Pari. Hey. And then that's Gabrielle, your co-host of the evening.
Tarot and Oracle family.
Woo! Don't riffle shuffle her cards though. And Joseph is in the corner. He's our IT guy right now. He's getting a 360-degree video up and running.
Our little tech wizard.
Woo! So we're going to keep this feed going as long as we can, as long as my doo-doo battery will allow. So, cool. So we've been working on trying to get that feed up and running for like a half hour, 45 minutes, like forever. So we were just like, okay, you know what? Let's get familiar, man. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get this wagon rolling down the hill. So today
Question for you.
we have a quick question. Yeah.
Do you have an Apple or an is your phone an Apple or?
Yeah, my
Do you
phone.
have a cord for it? Because I have a battery.
Oh well, I don't have a cable.
I can just plug it in. Let me see if I get a cord.
Yeah, well, you know, it's all good. We got 82% battery right now. We're gonna go we're gonna rock it till the wheels fall off. It's all good, man. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna learn some stuff.
How do you?
And
What I'll do.
and that's what's gonna go down. Let's see what we can do for a view. I got some chips here. We're gonna use it to prop up the video. See if that works, and we can get a few more people than just my ugly mug in your face. Yeah, we got me and Joseph. Hello. Cool. Well, something's going on over there. So, hey, Gabrielle's here. Oh, really? That was amazing. This is all our troubleshooting, guys. This is how it goes down. So if you want to get in the shot.
Oh, there's the cable right there, actually.
Yeah,
That's the thing I'm looking
that one's
for.
kind of doo-doo. So
Oh, you already tried it?
yeah, I've been trying it. Don't worry, it's okay. It's okay. So I don't know. You can see two of us.
It's fine. We can just move it around too.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. Cool. So we'll just leave that there for now. All right. So we're gonna get started. We got Tim Tams in the house. We've got all kinds of tarot cards, and we are
What
ready.
are the other groups that you shared or that you posted on? I got the tarot or the Canadian Tarot and Oracle Readers Club. Or-
Yeah.
And
I
never
think.
mind.
I think just for spite, we should share in. I should share it in. God, what was the group? Tarot Scholars. Tarot
I
Students
don't
and
know.
Scholars. Shout out for not promoting my group. That's really nice of you. Really love how there's so much unity in the tarot scene out here. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Everybody, it's really funny actually. Like, what I've been finding is that, you know, every time I go into like a metaphysical shop or something like that, and try to promote this group just to get other people out and get more people in the discussion, these people, they act as if it's like, they act as if I'm trying to take money out of their pockets, and they act like I'm trying to take food off of their table. Like, man, this is all about more perspectives on the tarot, and no one place is going to be right. And no one place is going to be worth $250 of your money. You know? Like, I don't know. I don't know other readers. I don't know.
I shared to a lot of groups.
That's amazing.
So
Share it all.
I guess we'll see who comes in.
Cool. And so I just got my my bitching out of the way, and you can hang out and watch me shove food all in my face for the next hour or however long my phone works.
I'm trying to see. Oh,
Here she is.
I just wanted to see.
Cool. Sure. I'm like back here. I don't care. I hope y'all can hear me. If you can't hear me, just let us know
We'll have to like.
in the comments
Oh yeah,
down
there
below.
we go. My hand. We're like about 20-25 seconds lag behind.
Wow,
We're
that's a
lagging,
lot of
but
lag.
it's all good.
No. Like live streaming always lags like that.
All right,
so,
cool. Well, as long
yeah.
as I'm not hearing myself back, then I don't really care. It's enough for me to hear myself talk. That's brilliant.
Just once? You don't need twice?
Yeah, I don't need an echo. You can just tell me I'm totally right. That's good enough. Okay, so we have already covered in past. Wow, where did that come from? We have already covered in past groups. We've already covered the elemental astrology of tarot and the 4 suits. We've already covered the aces and the magician. We've covered the high priestess and the 2s. So this week we are coming to the 3s and the empress.
Before you continue, if you're interested in checking out the live video that we had that covers the Fool, the Aces, and the 2s all in one, because we didn't film the first one. I got the brilliant idea of filming the second one, and now we're on the third one.
Woo!
So if you're interested in checking out the video, we did post it in Tarot Oracle Family. But if you want to see it, what we could do is post a link somewhere or just like comment below and we'll figure out a way to get it to you guys, whatever. There is a third person.
Woo!
I don't know what's going on. I don't know how do you see? Oh, I can't see because I'm not sharing. I'm not, you can see if you swipe,
Sharing is caring. Ah, Jilly!
there you
Amazing! Hi,
go.
Jillian!
It says Sunny.
Yeah, this is my girl Jillian. She is in Korea right now. This is Gabrielle, Azra, Eric, Pari, and our incredible VR technician, Joseph, who's getting our 360-degree video up and running. Hey, girl. It's so wonderful to have you here. So, okay, enough preamble, or else I'm going to get bored and hang up on you. Let's get into this. Okay, so if you go to the Google Doc that's in the familiar group, you can download our cheat sheets. And oh, Jillian says hello, everyone. Much love. We love you too, Jilly. Jilly's like amazing. I've never met a warmer vibe in my life. Okay, so if you've got your Google Doc open, you can see the Empress and the 3s. So, cool. So, let's get into the meat of this. Cool. So, we start with what 3s represent. So, we start with the numerology, because it's just easier to start there. There's a lot more that we can cover if we go first by elemental astrology, second by numerology, and then get into combining everything together. And one day I will learn Kabbalah and incorporate that as well. So 3 represents creativity and expansion. It represents the expansion of the 2s coming together to form a trinity, the soul coming to earth and having a human experience. Exuberance, expression, passion, artistic ability and output, and inventiveness. Positivity, charisma, the love of life, shunning responsibility, and shirking the tough parts of life, however. When the need for creativity and expression is stifled, it can mean moodiness and depression, because creativity and expression is such a huge part of 3 number. Emotional intensity and the need to control that emotional intensity, or it can backfire on you and cause a lot of problems in life. So it is that emotional intensity and kind of like a warning to control it. There's a lot of trinities. If you think about trinities, there's so many. You know, you've got the 3 little pigs, Goldilocks and the 3 bears, too hot, too cold, just right. The triple beam scale, the father, the mother, the child, Oh,
that is the triquetra.
the Gabrielle's triquetra, which is a Celtic knot. Let's see what else. The Father, the Mother, the Child, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, the past, the present, the future, the sun, the moon, the stars, birth, life, and death, body, mind, and soul. Macbeth, there were 3 ugly sisters. You have the 3 fates. You have all kinds of different trinities in life. So those things kind of, I guess a lot of the times they represent 2 different extremes and then the harmony in the middle. It's also the number for shamanism, walking with divine beings, the fairies, the jinn, the angels, the demons. It's the divine spark within and the creative muse that walks with you. And the themes in the tarot cards containing 3s are loyalty, bonding, indulging, and also crossing the point of no return. So,
oh, I have another one. The Claddagh ring. If you remember the Claddagh ring, it's hands holding a heart with a crown on top.
Mm-hmm.
And so that represents friendship, love, and loyalty, I believe. So there's your 3 right there.
Another 3.
And that's actually an Irish wedding ring.
Yes, it is.
So there you go.
Which represents also the union of coming together and the family, the start of the family. Let's see if I can, I'm going to be using my Patch Tarot, which is my new kind of go-to deck right now. It's kind of happy and it reminds me of bubblegum, which is really cool. In this deck, though, because of Kabbalah and to synchronize better with the Kabbalah, they've swapped the Empress and the Emperor. So to keep it going, so to keep it going, the Fool, which, kind of stands on his own, and could be a girl or a boy, depending. Like, there's really no gender to the Fool. But then you have the Magician, which is the male creative energy. And you have the High Priestess, which is the female magician, basically. Hi, Caitlin. Thanks for tuning in. You have the Magician and the High Priestess, which are kind of the male and female of the same kind of concept. And then you have the Empress right next to the High Priestess, and then the Emperor. So in my deck, they've swapped that to keep it going male, female, male, female. But I'm acting on my deck right now as if the Empress was still the 3. I just like the bubblegummy, happy depictions in it, and there's actually a lot of symbology in the deck. It's really cool. So we'll get started with
it would be really cool if we share like the decks that we're using.
Do you want to share the Empress of each of our decks?
Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
Cool. Let's start there. Okay, so I'll just show you the card, and then we can get into some more info from it. So I'm using the Patch Tarot because I've been tuning into spirit science for a long time, and I'm really interested in the things that they're doing. And I love my Santa Muerte tarot, but she's a little dark right now, and I'm kind of like, I love her, but I'm kind of working on some Santa Muerte co-creation of magic right now. So I'm setting the tarot card deck away for a second and working on with Santa Muerte in other ways. But on my deck, you can see that she's sitting in a lot of green, which is what the Empress is supposed to do. She's got a staff of a flower representing fertility. She's holding her tummy where there's a world. She's creating a lot. She's got Om on a shield beside her. She's got the moon because she is a girl and she's very feminine. What else does she have? Oh, pillows. She's in the middle of luxury and she's loving it. So I'm going to hand it off to Gabrielle, and she's going to show us what Empress she's working with today.
All right. So I have the Green Witch Tarot. Hi. So this is the Greenwich Tarot Empress card. And she has a staff just like the Patch Tarot. And she's holding, I don't remember. Does anybody remember the name of this thing?
Oh, the corn, horn of plenty.
Horn of Plenty. There we go. She has apples in there. She's pregnant. Look at those cute little, I think, ducklings. So that's really cute. And then she's in a field of wheat or something. And then I have another one. I'm going to have to hold something up here. Give me a second here. This is the...
You got it?
Yeah, I got it. This is the transparent tarot. Now you see the writing in the background, but pretty much all you see is just that top and then the rolling hills on the bottom, which is pretty representative of most of the depictions of Little Miss Empress. But here's where my transparent tarot gets a little interesting. When you layer them, this is what happens, which I think is cool. So I will pass this off. Would you like to?
You can explain.
You can explain. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is the Rider-Waite. This is the pretty standard Empress. Thank you, Jillian. Yeah, so the Transparent Tarot deck is by Emily Carding, and the Greenwich is by Barbara Moore. So if you're interested. So this is, yeah, you can Google them. Check them out. I'm pretty sure you can buy them on Amazon. Yeah, so this is the standard, well, I have the Albino weight, which is slightly different colors, but that's pretty cool. That's your standard, standard deck. There you go.
And this is the Empress in the Science Tarot deck. It's Mendel's Peas, which interestingly makes it male, but it is still basically fertility related. Basically, Mendel bred peas for 40 years, trying to figure out the secrets to life. And it has many of the same kinds of elements going on. So he's got the same like loose-fitting clothing, and it's got, you know, fertile fields and plants and stuff like that. There is a surprising lack of some of the imagery. Like, he doesn't have a staff, and I don't know why. The decal on his pockets, the black and white dots, I think are related to the secrets of DNA, basically showing dominant and recessive genes. You want to show your deck?
Yeah. So I'm showing you the deck from the Yukio Tarot, and this is the Empress from the tarot card, and you can see that she is wearing a very elaborate gown, a beautiful dress that's flowing down to her arm. You can't even see her arm. That means basically she doesn't do much work. She's just lounging around, and you can observe that her hair is worn down. That means she's in a very relaxed state, similar to the Empress card in the Rider-Waite. This is a very relaxed woman who is relaxing on her chair, and it's a woman who has made it in life and is enjoying the pleasures and the comforts of life, of abundance. Okay, who wants to go next?
Cool. So we're just getting our 360-degree camera up and running right now, because this is how we do it, Familiar and the Hack Lab. So cool. So we went around the table and found out what everybody else is using. Cool. So Jillian loves your transparent deck, by the way. She wants to check it out. Cool. I'm gonna like all of these because these comments are awesome. And she likes the science deck as well, because the science deck is, God, it is so cool. what was the one I loved? Algae, and that was the Two of Pentacles. I think it was so amazing because algae is a marriage between a fungus and a bacteria. So the concept of algae for a Two of Pentacles, like, or was it Two of Cups? It was just so incredible and geeky.
Yes. Two of Cups, alliance.
Sorry. Oh, Alliance. So this was the Two of Cups. So this was a science deck for the Two of Cups, and it represents like a marriage of a bacteria and a fungus. Like the Two of Cups represents a marriage or a business partnership. Like, amazing.
So we're gonna have both going.
We have both going. So if you want to see a little bit of a laggy 360-degree video, we can. There's a second stream happening right now in the familiar group. And Jillian likes the imagery of the other deck of the girl of the last woman. What does that even mean, Jill?
Oh, she's talking about.
You mean the Ukiyo-e, the Japanese deck?
This one.
Don't reach across. That's cool. The Empress, the Japanese deck.
Oh,
Yeah, the Empress in the Ukiyo-e. Like, the Ukiyo-e is absolutely amazing. There's really not as much symbolism in the Ukiyo-e as you would have in, say, the Rider-Waite deck, but they focus on foliage, plants, and animals, and Shinto Buddhism. Likely the if you can see it, the plants on the Empress's gown is probably really significant, and that's just the type of deck that it is. It's really awesome, and the dreams that I get when this deck is under my pillow is like a little bit weird and creepy. Like it's just really deep, and it's a little awesome that way. Cool. So we went around and we checked out everybody's Empresses, which is like amazing. Do you want to show me the Empress that you're working with, Joseph?
So the Empress I'm working with. What deck am I
Where's the 360 video being shared to?
It's being shared to the familiar group, isn't it?
Welcome.
Oh.
Or is it straight to your user?
Oh my God, it's on my page! Oh man. So I meant to share this in my familiar tarot group, so it looks like it's all good. I think I'm just gonna. I don't really care.
Okay,
So
what I'm going to
why don't you share it somewhere? Because wow,
Yeah,
that's a
what I'm
little
gonna do.
weird. Okay, cool. So Gabrielle's working on. I know, right, Jill?
I'm working on sharing this. Don't worry.
So we're gonna share the 360 video. Could you share it in the familiar group?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what-
First and
that's
foremost,
what
maybe
I'm
it should
gonna
be
do.
in the group, right?
Would you
Okay.
like me to switch the stream?
Oh,
No.
dude!
I think she found the stream.
Looking at myself.
I think she found the stream.
That's so bloody cool. Okay,
So-
share two groups.
We're gonna share that in the group. Okay, cool. So let's get into the.
So which deck?
Joseph is actually using the Tarot Illuminati. He's borrowing my Tarot Illuminati, which has a lot of Rider-Waite symbolism in it because it's pretty easy to follow. So
We'll bring it back here so that way we
you
can
go.
both see
hold
them.
that.
So this here is the Empress. We can see she's got the lovely red dress on, very much like the Queen of Hearts from like Alice in Wonderland. Symbology, scepter, power in the hand, sheaf of wheat in the hand as well. So basically, food, life, I would believe.
Absolutely,
You're
dead on there.
What else? We see trees, growth in the background. What is that? A shield she's holding, or off to the side there in her dress? Protection. That is for the Empress. And then we have for the Three of Swords, just the swords striking down through a central heart, almost looking like. I would say a heart. Does that look fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly
So
what it is.
down through a
and
central heart.
It's the most fucking brutal of the cards. Like,
Good.
it's probably one of the most harsh cards in the whole deck.
We have the Three of Wands, ships setting sail across the waters. Looks like sailing away from.
No, they're coming.
coming towards.
Let's see. No, are they
Sort of looks like the weight in behind.
Yeah.
That's how I was kind of seeing that.
Yeah, that's not the point of the ship, right? That's not the point of the head of the ship.
Yeah, so it looks like they're sailing away as he's looking towards them as well. Oop. And
There you go.
There we go.
Make sure you're in camera.
Make sure I'm in camera. And see, that's why I like 360 cameras. You don't have to actually get it in camera. You just point it in the right direction. Beautiful. So that's the Three of Wands, and then we have next up Three of Cups. For the Three of Cups, we have three ladies all gathered together, holding chalices, hide in the air, lots of food, almost like autumn harvest, for example. There. Food, life, health, wellness, all potentials.
Check on the computer to see.
And then finally our last one, Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles, which is interesting because compared to the other three, it's actually a lot of Asian symbolism within it. We see it looks almost like wisdom, knowledge, the scroll that they're reading from, being able to see those details. And up above the pentacles, possibly a form of protection. And of course, that's just my view. Keep in mind, I am very new to this, so my view may not be exactly accurate. So
No. It's not accurate.
Yeah.
It's intuitive. It's what you think, right?
Exactly.
Interesting.
The whole point of familiar
There's
is
no real right or wrong.
exactly. The whole point of familiar is just to share.
that's how I
what-
think about tech, but
Yeah.
we'll figure out the cards yet. So who was next?
Here, I'll grab it and we'll get a little bit more into the
In terms of tarot, I feel that like with tarot, there's no fact, there's no right or wrong. It's intuitive. It's your opinion. So you might interpret this card this way. I might interpret it the same card another way. But neither one is wrong.
Okay.
It's just my opinion versus your opinion, just like opinion versus fact, right?
Well, once I learn to read, just keep in mind I have a very optimistic outlook, so you'll be doing well with my readings.
No, that's actually great. It's
You make lots of friends.
no, it's great. Like it's always important whenever you're reading, even if and I've heard this for for channeling and everything like that as well, that it's very important to always try and put a positive spin. Like you don't want to read cards for someone and have them leave miserable. Man, that just would suck. You know, what you want to do is you want to read for someone, and even if make them suck it. No. You want to read for someone, and you want to make sure that when they leave, they have something to hope for. And even if they're going through a dark time, you want to make sure that you have ideas on how they can improve or things that they can do to make things better for themselves. You know what I mean? You don't want to have people leave you in a miserable state of mind, man. That sucks. That's just mean. That's just mean. At least when I'm mean, it's funny.
I view readings like, how would I describe this? Depending on the question of what the person is looking to know, I would view the reading as like a prescription or a loving therapy session that shows you a glimpse into a possible future that you can either choose to stay on that path or choose to change it. So it could be technically a warning, not in a bad way, but like this, if you continue this path, what good or bad, these are the consequences, good or bad. So, consequences don't mean a bad thing. Consequences mean action versus reaction, right?
Consequences are karma. Right?
Yeah, consequences are when you do this happens. When you are nice to people, nice things happen to you. When you are mean to people, mean things happen to you. Or, when you... Something as simple as when you let somebody off the bus before you, the reaction or the consequences, usually somebody says, thank you. Something as silly and simple as that. for people to feel empowered. Yes, absolutely. I don't know what else to say. Anybody else want to chime in?
I just gave it to you because I wanted to fix myself a tea.
I have no problem holding it.
Selfish.
Does anybody else want to chime in on, like, readings and how they view? Has anybody had experience giving other people readings?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So without giving too much information away with, the clients that you've had, what experiences have you had?
What experience have I had?
Yeah, like talk about your experiences as a reader.
I think first of all, I feel personally doing a reading. Sometimes when I lay out the cards, I doubt myself sometimes, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to read, and then it's so important that you should just completely trust yourself, and whatever intuition comes through, you need to just have just say it's okay. I'm just going to share what I feel intuitively is coming through. And another thing that happens to me very often is I lay the cards out, and I know that if I go to the meanings of the layout according to the books, that it's going to be a completely different reading. But sometimes I will just be led fully by my intuition, and I will see certain objects in the reading, like certain elements in the card, and that will speak to me way more powerfully than how I would interpret it with just the meaning of the cards itself. And sometimes I just go with that, and it's way more powerful than just knowing that, okay, this card, the meaning of this card is so and so. So just go with your intuition. And I think a good way of really, like, before I do a reading, I'll do a meditation. I center myself, and then I just do the reading. I have like a small ritual, not ritual, but something just to help you center yourself and just be in that space where you're just honoring your higher self or your intuitive self, and just doing the reading through that, being connected to your higher self. Anyways, that's my wonderful.
I totally agree. In terms of the difference between reading from the book and intuitively reading, I find that you look at the cards and you tell a story. You're like, oh, I see the person doing this over here, and then they're doing this over here, and then they're doing this over here. So it means this, this, and this to me. Whereas if you were to read from the book, you're like, you know what I mean? Plus, you're also, it now sounds like you're reading from a script, and that it takes away from your confidence, and now the client or the querent, they have less confidence in you as well, because now with the book, you're second guessing yourself. I did a 4-card spread with somebody. I usually try to pull 3 cards, and sometimes a 4th card will pop out, and it's so funny because I don't like picking the top card of the pile anymore. I've stopped doing that. I shuffle until cards pop out, and I'm like, ooh, I like that one, right in the middle, as I'm shuffling. I think that's, but everybody has their own thing. Everyone feels like, it's intuitive to you. There's no right or wrong. It's what you feel is right for you. And I shuffle and pick cards different every single time. That's my way of doing it. Somebody might, shuffle and pick their cards the same every single time. Some people let people touch their cards. Some people don't let people touch their cards. There's no right or wrong. I saw this entire thread of tarot superstitions, and it was like, it's just things like, people have told you, like, you can't let people touch your cards, we're just like, a lot of people were making light of it, and they think that, not necessarily funny, and they weren't taking things to heart. It's more like, how do I put this? you know that the superstitions don't let a black cat cross your path. We all know that that's a superstition. So, you know, one of them was like, somebody said that they were told that when you're a new reader, your tarot deck needs to go in a specific black silk bag. And when you've ascended, you need to have a purple silk bag. And we all know that that's BS, right?
That's really
You
weird.
put it in whatever way you want. If you have a giant collection, they're all going to go in boxes. If you want to pull them out, you put them on your altar or wherever the heck you want to put them so you can actually look at them and touch them and do whatever. Some people put crystals on top of them. Some people don't. It's what feels right to you, right? And in terms of like, I like doing, my favorite types of readings are ones that I sit on and type out. Because I'll do a 3 or 4 card spread for somebody and I'll type out card 1, card 2, card 3, have a space for it. And by the time I'm done, I have like a page and a half, almost 2 pages worth of information for 3 or 4 cards. Sometimes I'll pull an oracle card to like assist my decks. And then, you know, that way you definitely get close to about 2 pages worth of information. That way the person has a picture of the cards and the writing forever. You know what I mean? And when I sit there and I kind of stare off into an angle, whatever, and all of a sudden I get these flashes, these images. Everybody has something slightly different, and I go, I feel blah 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 blah. Like, okay, somebody asked about just very vaguely about their financial situation, and I pulled oracle cards, not tarot, and in between the two of the cards, card 2 and card 3, I wrote something like, it feels like what you're trying to do is something like, because it was how do I describe this, a chosen family and something else, but I phrased it another way with another chosen family type thing. And all of a sudden I described it like a foster home. She was trying to start a foster home. How would I have guessed that? I scare myself with these things sometimes, you know, like, you always second guess yourself until you are validated by the querent that you're reading for, you know? So when I know it won't make sense to you when you're verbalizing it, but don't second guess yourself, because your querent will steer you in the right direction. You can, you know, start your readings with, I could be right, I could be wrong. It's your job to, you know, steer me in the right direction. This is what I'm seeing. Am I barking up the right tree? And, you know, and then if they're saying no, okay, well, maybe this thing means this other thing. And then be like, oh, I get it. So they also see the cards and they'll intuitively go, I know what this is about. They see the picture, and whether they're a card reader or not, they'll intuitively know what the cards are trying to tell them, you know?
Well, and part of the other thing that Familiar is for is getting the basics so that you don't have to look at the book. You don't have to feel like you're reading a script. And you can use it to work with your intuition. That being said, I did a cheat sheet, and I made some research, and I read some books, and I have some stuff for us to look at. So, moving along with learning the cards, I'm going to talk about the 3 of Wands just now. The 3 of Wands in the Patch Tarot is Patch looking up at a glowing 3 glowing wands, which looks really rad because they have made a 6-point star, which is pretty cool. And I think with the Tarot Illuminati, can you pass it? Yeah. So this is actually more in tune with the Rider-Waite-Smith which is the standard. Oh, cool! It looks like S. Michelle MYB. Oh my gosh! Wow, that's a lot of initials, Michelle. But she said as she's thinking on something and one pops out, yes, she feels like they're talking to her. Yeah, that's the cool thing with tarot, man. It's really rad. And also, it's also the cool thing about Oracle. I can't even lie, because it's all the same family, right? So, yeah, coming back to the Three of Wands, this guy is actually, he's overlooking his fleet of ships which are sailing out, which is in tune with the theme of three, which we spoke about a little bit earlier. And the Three of Wands is about being confident in your skill and striking out on your own and going out and doing what you need to do. And having confidence in your own creative abilities will take you to the next level. It's the awareness of your creativity or your abilities, and the opportunities, like the awareness of having, if you're aware of your skill and you know what you're capable of, and you decide to strike out in a new direction and take things to the next level, you're going to be self-aware, and you're also going to be aware enough to recognize opportunities that come for you, because luck a lot of the times looks like, or what looks like luck a lot of the times is skill presented with opportunity. So that's what the wands are talking about. The Three of Swords, this is probably the most, to me, this is one of the most brutal cards in the deck of tarot. Traditionally in the Rider-Waite-Smith, it is a heart with three swords going through it, and blood, and like rain and clouds and shit, and just a really crappy day. Yeah. So the Rider-Waite-Smith, this is the Three of Swords, and it's just pretty brutal. Joseph's got the Tarot Illuminati. He'll show you.
I think that's more brutal than that.
Well, I mean, the Rider-Waite-Smith looks like a teenage line drawing. So, oh, sorry. Cool. So this is Gabrielle's Tarot Witches.
The Green Witch Tarot.
Green Witch Tarot.
So this is more of a pagan theme.
Yeah, this looks fine. I'd be fine with this.
I think what it is, I think a lot of people read too much into the meaning, the literal meaning of the Three of Swords in terms of its heartbreak, turmoil. Like, if you look at this one, you might have to get in a little close. This person is doing this to themselves.
It's harakiri.
There we go.
Yeah. Let's see.
They're
Can I see too? Oh yes, I see.
This is not, oh, woe is me, I'm a victim. This is, I am doing this to myself.
Also, it's suspiciously like Japanese harakiri, which is if you were stabbed in the back to that point that you couldn't take it anymore. In Japanese culture, there is no shame in taking your own life to get your honor back. So, I mean, that runs very deeply with the theme of, according to my, oh yeah, the Japanese tarot, the Ukiyo-e, like I said, there's really not a lot of symbology. It does have the storm, it does have the trees, but I would bet you with this deck that tree is a specific like family of trees, and that tree has significance, because that's that kind of deck. But the Three of Swords has to do with heartbreak, stormy weather, the affections, the need to cut something out of your life like gangrene in order to get carry on, upheaval. It could be cheating in love or business, pain. Sometimes it's just the fear of pain that's the brutality of the card. Fear, separation. Maybe it's fear of separation. And there's also a theme of like there's comfort to be found in other people who've had similar experiences. So when this card comes up in a reading, there is a hopeful side for it. You might be able to find somebody else, because it always feels very lonely when you're going through hardship. So there's comfort in finding your tribe?
I feel like this one, this might not be the 3 swords that are piercing the heart, but she's going home with groceries, and you'd think that she'd be going home to a husband or whatever, and she's got this cute little cottage, and well, the windows are boarded up, therefore she's lonely.
And she
at,
seems
at
very
first
resigned
at
to go
first
to
glance it's like la 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 la, I'm going home, na na na, and then all of a sudden you see this like boarded up window, and it makes you kind of look twice, and you're like, I wonder. So the 3 this is the 3 of Athames, but the 3 of Swords. The 3 swords are right on the door there, which I think is kind of interesting. Yeah, so
Here, you want to see the science one?
yeah, go for it.
There you go.
The-
Show us the science one.
Yeah, so the science 3 of Swords, or no, wait, you want swords?
Yeah.
I guess it's this one. Revolution.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the picture is basically the burning up of the Earth-centric solar system, and then the new design below it is the solar-centric solar system, right? So the idea basically is this massive loss of your belief that you are the center of the universe, but in return now a much better way of understanding the world, right?
And I mean, let's face it, revolution is never easy. It's never pretty. And
Yeah.
how many people died?
Yes,
because-
people were
was
burned at
that
the stake for
Galileo?
this.
Was
Yeah.
that Galileo? How many, or Copernicus?
It was Copernicus,
Copernicus.
but Galileo was in the same era for sure.
How many
Yeah.
people were burned at the stake or killed, or there's a lot of brutality that goes into revolution, and it doesn't matter where the revolution is or what the revolution is about. It's never easy. And on that note, overthrow the patriarchy.
Yes. Revolution.
Down with patriarchy.
Cool. Moving along. The 3 of Cups. Oh, God. I love this card. Can we start with the Rider-Waite Smith? The Rider-Waite Smith, the 3 ladies. That's the one. Oh, I love this card. Okay, so I guess a good way to organize the group would just be to start with the Rider-Waite Smith, because it is kind of the easiest and the most basic. So Rider-Waite Smith, this is the 3 of Cups. It's the toast. I love this card. Cheers! Celebrate good times. Come on. Where's mine? 3 of Cups. So this is God, it looks like bubblegum, man. I love my patch tarot. Just everything about it looks like bubblegum colors.
We wrote toast to the good life, celebration, friendship and friends group, sharing happiness, trust, hospitality, successful completion, results of hard work, unexpected talents, several opportunities at once.
It's and tying in, even we haven't even got to the Empress yet, but tying in the Empress to it is just the seeds have been sown, the ground, the soil has been tilled, everything's, you've put in all that hard work, and you've plucked the grapes, you've stepped on them with your feet, you've got them fermented, and now you can fucking drink the wine, because it's you finally come to the end, the successful completion of a bunch of hard work, or maybe it's a lot of, you went through some hardship, perhaps, you didn't have a job for a while, you had nothing going on, and then all of a sudden, you got 7 job opportunities just popped up at once. It's what? Toast! Holla! She's about to get lit. Eric, what do your science cards look like for that one?
The science card, 3 of Cups, is symbiosis. It's a picture of an orchid. And for many years, they couldn't grow orchids commercially. But it turned out the reason is because the orchid depends on a symbiotic organism in the soil, which fixes nitrogen. Without that organism, orchids don't grow.
So orchids don't...
Symbiosis. Yeah, symbiosis is the card.
They don't
Symbiosis.
do their own carbon fixation.
Yeah, well, it's the nitrogen fixation, actually.
Nitrogen
yeah.
fixation.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I learned about that in school this year and promptly forgot it after the exam.
Yeah, so I don't know how that relates to other card, but I mean, it is very much like, well, orchids obviously is like a classic. This is a super frilly flower, right? Like you're enjoying the good life.
Cool. And then pentacles. Where did they go? Oh, this is a really cool one. Yeah, we'll start with the Rider-Waite. This is basically I don't know. I've been watching and reading a lot of Anthony Bourdain lately. So forgive me if I go into a cook analogy. But this is, the master craftsman. This is a picture of the master craftsman showing off his work to his patrons. And, he's been through, through a few kitchens. He's had his ass kicked. He's got burnt by, boiling water. Pots have fallen on him. He's cut himself. He's really paid his dues. He's been through culinary school, and now he is able to host a dinner party and just make the most amazing dishes. So it's the master craftsman showing off his work finally. That was pretty hard won. It's the card of the, finally getting recognized for the skill that you have. And you've finished your apprenticeship, and now people are actually starting to realize that you do good work. Patch Tarot is it's Thoth. That's Thoth, and he's talking to his master craftsman who they're building a pyramid. And it looks like, let me see here. Looks like Thoth is like totally down with the program, and they're really admiring the work that got done. What do you got, Joseph?
So I've got the Three of Pentacles with basically the Asian symbolism.
Yeah.
You see, like I said, they're studying a scroll of some sorts, probably in preparation for celebration, once again, a type of toast. What else do you see in there?
Well, we got our master craftsman, we've got his patrons, and it looks like he's pointing out, hey man, this detail, because you can see that that's the plan.
Okay, that makes
And then
sense.
that's the finished product, and he's like, yeah, this little detail, remember you told me not to forget that little detail? Here it is, boss. Are you happy? And they're like, yes, I think I am. My money went to good use. Thank you. What do you have, Gabrielle?
Okay, so with the Green Witch Tarot, this is what I've got. So it looks like there's a young apprentice that is being rewarded because it looks like he's on a pedestal, kind of like first thing the first thing I think of is like the Olympics, and now he's getting his medal kind of thing, right? Or in pagan terms, he's now ascending to the next phase of whatever, and the master that's it looks like he's gifting him, I believe it's called a lyre.
Oh, like a lyre? Lyre?
Yeah.
Like the crown of laurels?
No, it's like the harp, but there's only a couple strings.
My boyfriend played it.
It doesn't look like the boy's touching it, but it looks like he's about to give it to him.
Oh, wow, there's a reward.
You see?
Yeah, maybe he's
And then let's see if I can do this on the table. Actually, no. Here. Wait a minute. I have an idea. I have an idea. Look at that. So there is these are very simple.
Yeah.
So this one, it looks like he's like, aha, I have finished my last pentacle kind of thing. And he's got two going, or finished, and he is looking very proud at his other work. Look at these ones. There's the celebration card. The first thing I think of when I look at the Three of Wands there is the Three Musketeers.
Nice.
Which is really weird because this is the Three of Wands in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Three of Wands over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so...
It's really cool how no matter the deck, if the, you know what I mean, if the artist and the creator done their research.
You're at 20%.
No worries. That means that we still have 20% battery.
Okay, so it's back to this.
I really like seeing how all of the different decks correspond to one
Yeah,
another.
so
That's really great.
here's the science deck one. The Three of Pentacles, which is like magnifying glasses, is bonding. And it's water, so it's two hydrogens and an oxygen
Oh my god!
forming together.
There's always
Yeah.
one in that deck.
There's always a good card. Yeah, and what it says in the description basically is like you take two molecules which are both really common in the universe and you bond them together and you create something totally different. Both oxygen and hydrogen are gases at room temperature. When you bond them, you get this liquid. And then the liquid happens to have all of these like incredible, totally different properties.
Right?
Yeah.
Which makes it a celebration because you can drink the water.
Yes.
Right?
And of course it forms the basis of all of life and so on, right? Like I don't know that I would call it the master craftsman of life because I think that's DNA, but it is like the like omnipresence of life, right? Yeah.
And one thing I've always thought was interesting about water that I can't remember where I got the idea from, is that most, if not all, other elements or molecule or compounds, when they're in their colder state,
Or heavier.
they're heavier. Could you imagine what the planet would be like if ice sank?
Yeah.
We'd be fucked, basically. So that's really cool. Water's incredible. So what do you have, Pari?
So I will be showing you from the Yukio Tarot deck. This is the Three of Pentacles, and it shows some dahlia flowers, which they generally bloom in the late summer, which means, you know, all the flowers have bloomed and gone, and these are the ones that are still standing, and you can see a bee coming in to pollinate these beautiful flowers. And this card basically talks about mastery and perfection and artistic ability and dignity and renown and power. And doesn't have too much stuff on it, but this is what it is. And I feel that when I see the Three of Pentacles show up on the Rider-Waite tarot when I'm doing a reading, I always kind of interpret that as not being afraid to seek out counsel from somebody who is experienced, somebody who has, you know, either it's a therapist or somebody who you respect, to just go and get some good solid counsel. That definitely is a card for me. Yes,
Meeting the wise mentor. And
exactly. Yeah,
personal guidance, that's all threes.
yeah. So that card represents that for me. Anyways, okay.
Cool. Cool. Ah, I love it when that happens. Right, Pari? When you know, I have one interpretation, I put it on a piece of paper, and you're like, well, you know, when I see it, I see something different, and that's really awesome. The magic of familiar tarot. So the last thing to do is talk about our girl, the Empress. She's right up there. Last thing to do is talk about our girl, the Empress. She is the queen of the threes. And I know that there are other threes in the tarot deck, insofar as, you know, you have a 13 and a 37. Just kidding. Oh, no, I've got 10. We got 10% left, so I'm just gonna shove another cookie in my face and make it real quick. So, the Empress, she sits on her throne facing her husband, the Emperor. She wears rich, luxurious colors. I'm gonna borrow her. She wears rich, luxurious colors and is surrounded by life. Water, trees, a lawn, a fertile field of wheat. Her heart-shaped shield is the symbol of Venus, the feminine principle, and her robes fit her full figure so loosely. Could it be that she's pregnant? The Empress symbolizes nurturing and fertility of life that was initiated by the Fool, sparked into being by the Magician, and coaxed out of hiding by the High Priestess. The quick points with the Empress are fertility, growth, expansion, productivity through the female principle. Sensuality, marriage, harmony, fertility, motherhood and mothering, pregnancy, birth, nurturing, luxury, the good things in life, abundance but not excess, appreciation of material possessions.
There you go.
Fertility for farmers, creative types like artists, musicians, writers, productivity. Indicates the need for balance of your instinctive as well as your rational nature. She's relaxed, confident, a mature feminine, the mature feminine nature as opposed to the unripe, youthful femininity of the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a dreamer and an intuitive, but the Empress is practical. Her feet are firmly on the ground, literally in the card. And she just gets human nature. The reward for her earthly labor lies in heaven, and God's blessings are plentiful. The promise of growth and prosperity of all things, needs fulfilled with joy and satisfaction. The seeds were planted, the crops were cared for, and now's the time for enjoying the harvest. A happy conclusion to a project, coming to the end of hard work and sacrifice, the coming recognition and reward. The path to spirit through the senses, joy in the everyday experience of life, experiencing life through the senses. Passion balanced with rationality creates positivity, not necessarily idealism, but generosity. Indicates knowledge of everyday practical efforts that we do to keep relationships in harmony. And I'm really curious because I want to see what the science deck has to say about the Empress.
I think I showed it earlier. It's called Mendel's Peas. And Gregory Mendel is a monk in like the 18th century or something. And he basically spent 40 years growing and breeding peas in Russia. And nobody knew of him then. We only discovered his work much later. And it rapidly accelerated our understanding of what life is. Like, he's the one who taught us about dominant and recessive genes and like the way in which one generation inherits properties from the previous one.
Wow, that is really cool.
Yeah, so it's quite different, but it does have a lot of the same sort of like fertility themes in it. Yeah, and then it also has, related to your one down at the bottom, like happy conclusion of a project, coming to the end of hard work and sacrifice. I mean, he basically spent 40 years paying way too much attention to peas.
Peas in love?
Yeah. So, happy conclusion to a project.
And I'd like to see what Pari has to say about the Empress.
I only have something negative to say about the Empress.
This is the place. Don't worry about it.
To me, sometimes when I see the Empress card, especially when it's reversed, to me it represents that you're too complacent with where you are in life. You need to kick yourself in the butt and get yes.
Well, she
Too, like,
is
comfortable.
the type of person
Yeah.
who's like, hang on. Where's the rider weight?
Right there, yeah.
So if you look at her, she is very comfortable with where she is.
Yeah.
Why would she need to get up?
Get up.
She doesn't need to get up and move, man. She's got people to do that for her. So that is a really cool interpretation. That like, man, maybe you're a little comfortable. You should maybe you should go to school or something. Can I see your green witch?
Find a job. Yes.
And this is the green witch chair. I'm not sure if we showed it yet.
Yeah, we did.
We did?
At least she's
I love her.
She's standing up. She's like, manning the geese. She's doing something. Right?
It looks like she's doing all of the things. She's collecting the apples, collecting the animals, herding the animals.
She's bearing kids.
Yeah, she's
Bearing
very
a
kid.
kid, walking with a staff.
Kind of doing everything.
She is so pregnant, she needs a staff.
So just before my phone dies, I just want to say a quick shout out and thank you to Hack Lab for hosting. If you want to come down in Toronto anytime, you can check us out online at http://hacklab.to. That's HACKLAB.to. And every Tuesday there's an open house starting at 5:30 in the evening. And basically it's a bunch of us nerds. Some of us nerd out on tarot, some of us nerd out on electronics, some of us nerd out on VR. Some of us nerd out on science and creating apps. You know, some of us are new to Hack Lab and will be nerds eventually. And some of us
She's trying to convert me.
Yeah, some of us nerd out on cooking. So you're welcome to come down any Tuesday at 5:30 to come and hang out and see what kind of fun, nerdy things you can make here, because there's everything. And big shout out to Tarot and Oracle family, and Gabrielle. Thank you so much for being the co-hostess with the mostest.
I just wanted to say I did share the 360 link in the comments below, so if you can find it and you want to see the 360 link, you can check that out as well. Yeah.
Awesome. And
Check
also
out the replay, please comment. We will reply to you. We love this stuff.
we want to hear from you. And thanks a lot to Canadian Tarot and Oracle family. Amanda, Elliott, you've been so welcoming and so warm and so encouraging with everything that I'm doing with Familiar, and even starting your own Familiar type of branch off in Hamilton. I think that's really amazing, and it means a lot to me. So thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. I know it was a long chat, but if you made it to the end, you're awesome. Join the group, give me likes and all of that other crap, and we'll see you next month.
Name the group, the whole name of the
Familiar, a tarot readers study group. We get together on the Wednesday nearest the new moon every month, and that was on purpose because I want to meet new friends, learn new things, and have new experiences, right? And it looks like the next one is on March the 14th. So Wednesday, March the 14th, we will have another 360 video, probably posted in the group rather than on my own page, and we will have another phone video. We'll have lots of fun, and we will be covering the Fours and the Emperor, and we can't wait to see what the Green Witches and the science comes up with for us. Thanks a lot, and thank you so much for being part of the 360 video. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our tarot group. Till next time, March 14th. Bye. Bye, Jilly. I love you.